let's continue our reading. Yesterday we finished reading this third sutta about the goal of wisdom, which is Nibbana. There is that base. Today we are going to continue with the unborn, the fourth sutta of this section. Thus have I heard, at one time the Blessed One was dwelling at Savatthi in Jeta's Grove, Anathapindika's park. Now on that occasion the Blessed One was instructing the monks with a Dharma talk connected with Nibbana, and those monks were receptive, intent on listening to the Dharma. Then, on realizing its significance, the Blessed One on that occasion uttered this inspired utterance. There is, monks, an unborn, unbecome, unmade, unconditioned. If, monks, there were no unborn, unbecome, unmade, unconditioned, no escape will be discerned from what is born, become, made, conditioned. But because there is an unborn, unbecome, unmade, unconditioned, therefore an escape is discerned from what is born, become, made, conditioned. From Udana 8.3. So this is the key point of the sutta. There is something described as unborn all the way to unconditioned. If there isn't, then there will be no escape. No escape from samsara. No escape from the condition. But because there is one, there is something that's unborn, therefore there's an escape from what is born, what is conditioned. Sister Saikyam, would you like to continue?
The two Nibbana elements. There are amongst these two Nibbana elements. What are the two? The Nibbana element with residue remaining and the Nibbana element without residue remaining. And what, monks, is the Nibbana element with residue remaining? Here, a monk is an Arahant, one whose pains are destroyed, one who has lived the holy life, done what had to be done, laid down the burden, reached his goal, reached his own goal, utterly destroyed the fetters of existence, one completely liberated through final knowledge. However, his five sense faculties remain unimpaired, by which he still experiences what is agreeable and disagreeable, still feels pain, pleasure, and pain. It is the destruction of lust, hatred, and delusion in him that is called the Nibbana element with residue remaining. And what, monks, is the Nibbana element without residue remaining? Here, a monk is an Arahant, and so on, until one completely liberated through final knowledge. For him, here, in this very life, all that is felt, not being delighted in, will become cool right here. That, monks, is called the Nibbana element without residue remaining. These, monks, are the two Nibbana elements. From I don't remember this sutta.
Yeah. IT is ITBW.
ITBW 44. Thank you.
Go back to the list of abbreviations. You can see here.
ITBW.
Okay.
ITBW 44. Thank you.
Okay. Thanks, Sister Saik. Okay. So this sutta talks about the two elements of Nibbana, one is with residue, the other one is without residue. So both are arahants. Yeah, here monk is an arahant, so let me highlight. However, okay, this is the key difference. His five sense faculties remain unimpaired, by which he still experiences what is agreeable and disagreeable, still feels pleasure, and pain. And so this is Nibbana, the Nibbana element with residue remaining. And the other one without residue is also an arahant. Monk is an arahant. And then this line, for him here in this fairy life, all that is felt, not being delighted in, will become cool right here. It does not really explain much this sutta, but let's go back to the introduction to understand what is these two Nibbana elements about. So probably it's easier if I search down. Yeah. So Bhikkhu Bodhi gives an explanation back in the introduction. So here, the residue is the composite of the five aggregates that was brought into being by the ignorance and craving of the past life and must continue on until the end of lifespan. And for the Nibbana element without residue, this is the same thing that the text says. When the Arahant passes away, all that is felt, not being delighted, will become cool right here. And the next one is the explanation. Since there is no more clinging to the five aggregates and no more craving for fresh experience through a new set of aggregates, the occurrence of the aggregates comes to an end and cannot continue. The process of the five aggregates is extinguished. This is the literal meaning of Nibbana. So just a quick recap. The residue is when the Arahant still has the five aggregates, but without residue is when the Arahant passes away and leaving all the five aggregates behind. At least that's how I understand it. Okay. Okay, let's go back to reading the sutta. Sister Shomi, would you like to continue?
6. The fire and the ocean. 15. The wanderer Vachakota asked the Blessed One, then does Master Gautama hold any speculative view at all? Vacha, speculative view is something that the Tathagata has put away. For the Tathagata, Vacha has seen this, such as form, such as origin, such as passing away, such as feeling, such as origin, such as passing away, such as perception, such as origin, such as passing away. Such are volitional formations, such their origin, such their passing away, such as consciousness, such as origin, such as passing away. Therefore, I say with the destruction, fading away, cessation, giving up, and relinquishing of all conceiving, all rumination, all I-making, my-making, and the underlying tendency to conceit, the Tathagata is liberated through not clinging.
Okay, thanks, Sister Shomi. This sutta starts with talking about speculative views. Oops, scroll up. Yeah, and then there's one footnote 58. In Pali, ditta, seen, is here clearly intended as an antithesis to ditti, view. A speculative view is something that the Buddha has put away. And then the Buddha talks again about the 5 aggregates, and the pattern applies to it. The thing itself, the aggregate itself, origin passing away. Okay. Highlight this. Okay, Sister Xinghui, would you like to continue?
16. When a monk's mind is liberated, thus, Master Gautama, where is he reborn after death? Is reborn does not apply, Vajra. Then he is not reborn. Master Gautama is not reborn does not apply, Vajra. Then he both is reborn and is not reborn, Master Gautama. Both is reborn and is not reborn does not apply, Vajra. Then he neither is reborn nor is not reborn, Master Gautama. Neither is reborn nor is not reborn does not apply, Vajra. When Master Gautama is asked these 4 questions, he replies, is reborn does not apply, Vajra. Is not reborn does not apply, Vajra. Both is reborn and is not reborn does not apply, Vajra. Neither is reborn nor is not reborn does not apply, Vajra. Here I have fallen into bewilderment, Master Gautama. Here I have fallen into confusion, and the measure of confidence I had gained through previous conversation with Master Gautama has now disappeared. It is enough to cause you bewilderment, Vajra, enough to cause you confusion. For this Dharma, Vajra, is profound, hard to see and hard to understand, peaceful and sublime, unattainable by mere reasoning, subtle to be experienced by the wise. It is hard for you to understand it when you hold another view, accept another teaching, approve of another teaching, pursue a different training, and follow a different teacher. So I shall question you about this in return, Vajra. Answer as you choose.
Okay, thanks, Sister Xinghui. Here the Buddha was asked a series of questions. And then it might seem that the Buddha is trying to ignore the questions, but as we have read the introduction, the reason all these questions the Buddha refuses to answer, the Buddha rejected. The Buddha here says, this statement does not apply. It's not just because it's irrelevant to the goal of Nibbana, but it is also that statement has a implicit self in that statement. The self is implied in that statement. So that's why the self, while the Tathagata already liberated from the view of self, and that's why the statement does not apply. Whichever statement that has the assumption of self inside, that statement the Buddha has to reject. And because the Buddha refused to answer all his questions, and then Vajra says, the measure of confidence I gained through the conversation with Master Gautama now disappeared. so now the Buddha has to explain to him. Now the Buddha has to ask him questions in return. Sister Billy, would you like to continue?
What do you think, Vacha? Suppose a fire were burning before you. Would you know this fire is burning before me? I would, Master Gautama. If someone were to ask you, Vacha, what does this fire burning before you burn independence on? Being asked thus, what would you answer? Being asked thus, Master Gautama, I would answer, this fire burning before me burns independence on grass and sticks. If that fire before you were to be extinguished, would you know? This fire before me has been extinguished. I would, Master Gautama. If someone were to ask you, Vajra, when that fire before you was extinguished, to which direction did it go? To the east, the west, the north, or the south? Being asked thus, what would you answer?
Okay, thanks, Sister Billy. Here, the Buddha used the simile of the fire to illustrate the concept why all those statements, all those questions do not apply. Okay, check. Okay, Sister Aikim, would you like to continue?
That does not apply, Master Gautama. The fire burned in dependence on its fuel and of grass and sticks. When that is used up, if it does not get any more fuel, being without fuel, it is reckoned as extinguished. So too, Vacha, the Tathagata has abandoned that form by which one describing the Tathagata might describe him. He has cut it off at the root. Make it like a palm stump, done away with it, so that it is no longer subject to future arising, liberated from reckoning in terms of form. The Tathagata is deep, immeasurable, hard to fathom like the ocean. Is reborn does not apply. Is not reborn does not apply. Both is reborn and is not reborn does not apply. Neither is reborn nor is not reborn does not apply. The Tathagata abandoned that feeling by which one describing the Tathagata might describe him, has abandoned that perception by which one describing the Tathagata might describe him, has abandoned those volitional formations by which one describing the Tathagata might describe him, has abandoned that consciousness by which one describing the Tathagata might describe him. He has cut it off at the root, make it like a palm stump, done away with it, so that it is no longer subject to future arising, liberated from reckoning in terms of consciousness. The Tathagata is deep, immeasurable, hard to fathom like the ocean. Is reborn does not apply. Is not reborn does not apply. Both is reborn and is not reborn does not apply. Neither is reborn nor is not reborn does not apply. From Majjhima Nikaya 72, Agivacakota Sutta.
Sadhu, sadhu, sadhu. Okay, thanks, Sister Aikim. And with that, we have finished reading this chapter, chapter 9. Yay! Oh, I can't believe it. I think we spent around 150 days to finish 9 chapters. Not too bad. And any questions or comments for what we have read? Especially chapter 9, but in general as well. Next time we can do a quick recap of chapter 9 and then we will dive into the last chapter of the book. Also, hi, Sister Jolene. Good to see you again. Okay. No questions. Then would Sister Billy like to do the dedication?
回向，愿消三障诸烦恼，愿得智慧真明了。不愿罪障悉消除，世世常行菩萨道。
Thanks, Sister Billy. Till we meet again, may we be guided by the Buddha, Dharma, and the Sangha. Sadhu, sadhu, sadhu. Have an unconditioned Monday ahead.